tay.
Đam tay á hả?
Ra vật lý.
Hay là mày chơi con khác thử?
Ok. Tao nói cái con gì đây ta?
SF.
Thôi. Rồi đã té quá à.
Voi. À thôi mà voi cũng đâu có đánh vật lý nào.
Thôi đánh chắc được 22.000 đam á. Đánh BL thử xem.
Tao lại đéo nghĩ mày nên đánh BL. Maybe Usha.
Căn bản là phải thắng đã. Má.
Không thì có thể đánh như ví dụ như Razor chẳng hạn. Contract hả? Má win game có win game với Butcher kìa. Clock, Badchider, Q2. Ê có 2 con Courier nè. Giết 2 con Courier vậy.
Má khó rồi trời.
Ủa mày không đi mid kìa Linh?
Có trận thì độ quá giết được hoài. Có trận thì độ quá đéo bao giờ giết được.
Bây giờ ai đi mid hả?
Ai biết kêu Winner đi mid á. Không có ai ra mid thì mày đi thôi chứ có gì đâu. Ghê độ quá bay các thứ. Độ quá nhìn đúng kiểu hoàng tử phép thuật. Sao gặp anti-mây độ quá. Và hai thằng đó là chung một phe đó mày. Tính ra là hồi trước là cái gì The Sentinel với lại The Scout hả? Đúng rồi, độ quá là hai đứa đó chung một phe nhưng mà độ quá bất đồng ý kiến vậy thì làm sao độ quá kết hợp ra trận rồi độ quá ra trận thằng Ultimate kêu thằng Invoker xài chiêu đi, xong rồi độ quá Invoker quay lại sao mày ghét chiêu lắm mà.
Xong rồi thằng Anti-Mage bảo là đúng mày vậy mày học chiêu làm gì?
Đủ má tao đéo thích chơi thì rẻ chơi mà thằng mặt lồn như mày đủ má tức.
Tức đúng không? Anh đâu biết đâu, coi thử coi chắc trong cái bịch á.
Xong mấy Invoker game này đánh QW con nè chứ độ má đánh QE sợ độ má đéo gây được đam luôn.
Phải không? Thì cứ để trỏng là được rồi.
Sao thằng ngu lồn kia chưa gì đã chết rồi đậu má mày chứ. Đậu má leo một đơn tool
thì cứ lâu thôi chứ có sao đâu.
Ngu
Nãy rồi.
Mày có ăn được không?
Không, nãy tao không ăn được, nó có chiêu lướt mà.
Không sao. Má thằng kia đá tao vô con Rosan thì mẹ tao đứng tao che kia lại cho con Rosan đập 2 cái rồi quá ỉa chảy luôn.
Mày quay lại đây mày quýnh nó rồi, gì mẹ nó đập tao đâu quá.
Mất grip.
Cắt con mẹ mày, đụng nó đánh con cắt gì vậy?
Mày còn đứng lại cho nó đánh nữa, bảo sao?
Đánh nó đi.
Đó đang đánh đó.
Đập vô đầu nó.
Đây được 304 đam rồi nè. Nó đừng búp. Ủa ship đâu rồi? The fuck?
Tôi nói nó dí tao.
Đánh kiểu cái lồn gì đủ má để cho nó dí vậy. Mày báo rip tao quá Thạnh.
Nó đánh hay quá mà, sao đỡ?
Đủ quá đéo hiểu sao để nó dắt rip đi vòng vậy đủ mẹ mày.
Ủa nó dắt thì đụng nó dắt chứ rồi má.
Rồi mày còn đủ quá để cho nó đá vô trong người mày nữa thì phải làm tao phải đi cứu mày mất mẹ nó 2 rip.
Nó giết người đi, giết nó đi. Trời, nãy giờ mày giết nó cái một luôn á.
Nó hiểu, đủ má ra bị giết nó thử coi.
Trời, nhậu. Thấy chưa? Tao đi buôn nó, cẩn thận nha.
Đi đi. Đau quá ta, đủ má lên boss fit vãi lồn. Đéo hiểu luôn.
Từ thôi.
Đủ má Winner thì mẹ level 1 nó tôi là thấy ngu vãi lồn rồi đó.
Ê, nó đi ra, nó kiếm mày kìa.
Biết rồi,
Kiếm
tao đang
con
bảo
gà của
vệ
mày luôn
courier
rồi.
của tao.
Cẩn thận con gà. Tay ấy.
Thấy rồi, đang cố gắng điều khiển vãi lồn nè.
Nó cứ dắt riết vậy, lấy gì đỡ bạn.
Cái đó là mày buôn thì phải chịu rồi. Đây bạn, quay lại, quay lại. Lồn mình mua nhiều ấy ta. Chạy đi, không đó có sai là ấy vậy á.
Chết rồi, tao chết rồi.
Sao chết?
Tao chết chắc. Nó chạy nhanh hơn tao.
À vậy thôi, ngờ.
Chạy 310, tao chạy có 300. Nó kệ không sao.
Mẹ mày còn dậy nữa.
Sao mày đéo có regain gì hết Thinh?
Tao xài hết rồi.
Chán.
Tại mày với tại ai đủ quá.
Đéo hiểu sao tại tao luôn á.
Lúc đầu mày dắt kệ đủ mẹ. Da.
Chết luôn á.
Đủ quá ấy mà.
Má đàm to vậy. Ơ nói mất luôn.
Mày chạy ăn luôn đi chứ bây giờ làm sao?
Có
Tao làm
đây
được
sầu ăn.
Mày còn ráng mày bắn thêm con riết một cái nữa.
Tao bắn đi nay mà. Để nó chơi ngu kìa. Má.
Có tuyệt vời vậy mà đủ.
Hai bạn ơi.
Nó mất tele được. Quá xịn.
Đánh vậy là đạt chuẩn rồi đó. Má dưới giết người rồi kìa.
Mẹ mừng vãi lồn luôn á thà. Đánh cái đéo này mà fit.
Tôi nghĩ là nó có mắt ở ngay đây. Ê, con gà mày ơi.
Thôi bỏ đi, rộng quá con nó đéo cách nào giết được. Cây xoài.
Ê, vô đây mày. Con tay này nó chuẩn bị ấy rồi đó. Đó, nè.
Rồi phá bắt nó đi. Chứ vậy là có bắt chắc rồi đó, di chuyển tốt quá. Hơi hư cấu. Có không?
Đéo thấy trên này luôn.
Sao á? Hai đủ.
Má đéo kịp luôn. Cái chiêu 2 mày đâu rồi?
Đây là
đi. Chết mẹ, giết này luôn, nó hết combo rồi.
Đang nè, nhưng mà giờ đánh nó chân gãi vậy.
Ê, nhưng mà nó có này, nó có stick á, nhiều stick lắm. Phải đi cắm mắt mình. Từ từ nha.
Ê, tao nghe tiếng tele hay sao á.
Có thể. Má, tao bị địch am rồi.
Con chó đó nó điếm lắm.
Cứu giá.
Thôi đổ má máu tao vậy cứu ai.
Má, con creep nó giết tao luôn á. Cay vãi lồn đây.
Sao con creep nó giết vậy?
Tao đéo biết, tức là tao bị cái chiêu này nè, nó mất rồi, nó mất cái đó rồi.
Thấy đủ má.
Dạ, nó có ở đâu đây nè. Đợi tao rồi.
Tao đợi mày được, đủ quá.
Tao
Đừng hiện bóng nữa. Ừ, chứ không nó đá vô mặt tao.
mẹ đi regain, mẹ đi chuẩn bị ra quýnh lộn nè.
Đâu có đang nè. Bình tĩnh bạn ơi.
Đi quýnh lộn rồi ba. Bám con cặp gì nữa. Đợt cậu.
Thôi về bạn ơi, về bạn ơi.
Má đéo tỉnh luôn á. Con Bango với con Tiny.
Tao phải đi farm rừng, con này tính tập này nó mạnh rồi, đủ má đánh đéo lại nó.
Chưa
Đó nó
mạnh
cứ
đâu.
vậy. Vậy mà không mạnh.
Đợi tao ra cái coi, tao có ulti rồi. Tao bơm cho.
Đó vậy
Tao
mà
bơm
đéo
máu
mạnh.
cho, tao bơm máu cho. Ê,
Wow, xuống.
má vừa mất cái bơm máu của tao luôn.
Nó không ở đây thì nó ở dưới, ở đây nè.
Ừ, thấy rồi.
Chắc là hết cái bắt kia rồi.
Ở dưới cũng đi được con ấy một tí rồi.
Tôi nghĩ chạy ra mid quá à. Sao nó bỏ cái lane này vậy ta? Sao bỏ lên top vậy? Không có thằng nào luôn á.
Thì đâu có ai đâu, vậy thôi mày lên ấy đi. Tắt rồi. Đéo tắt luôn.
Tắt chi dậu quá. Thiếu chéo ở chỗ farm. Tắt chi cho mất máu.
Tao lên
Đó, tôi biết
luôn.
cây mà, đủ quá, tôi biết nó ra mid luôn á. Đủ quá, cắm mắt, đủ quá, đầu tư phải lồn. Thôi GG bạn ơi, nó đánh vậy thì GG.
Sao GG bạn?
Ý là đủ má, extreme phải lồn á.
Tao đánh cũng hay vậy mà.
Không, mày đánh dở hẹt à, đủ quá.
Ơi.
Thôi bạn chết rồi đó bạn rất. Anh đa với cái lồn. À, có người chết thay hả? Đéo ai chết luôn. À, phải có chứ.
Phải có người chết hay chứ. Tay ni luôn hả? Tay ni ra luôn hả?
Có người ở đây. Con gì vậy? Mango. Trời đủ quá đau vậy? Đâu phớt. Thôi GG.
Thôi mày lăn vừa dính mày chết rồi đó. Lăn đau vãi cứt. Có cái gì tao xài được không? Má nếu ai xài được có cái gì để xài không? Cái vải lồn. Ôi.
Game này đéo thắng nổi.
Game này đéo thắng nổi hả?
Không thắng nổi, thiệt vẹ.
Má buồn
Không
thiệt
có
nghe,
stand
buồn
nữa.
thiệt.
Đậu quá, con Winner đánh vô cạch thì đậu quá, đéo hiểu nó lên đồ mà. Đéo biết đến lúc nào nó mới có impact luôn á. Đậu quá, số 4 của nó đánh thì hay. Rồi con này đi vậy là chết đó.
Con nào đi vậy là chết.
Vì bóc
Ê,
cơ
lên,
con
lên,
gì.
lên mày. Tao có hay. Rồi đánh con. Đây, rune. Bút ông bà.
Một đéo nổi.
Rồi
Làm
đi
xong
về.
rồi.
Nó khỏe vãi. Tao sợ bị đi quá con. Má có lồn gì đấy. Rồi xong bị quá rồi đó. Hiểu hiểu luôn á. Đánh cắt gì đúng nhiều tiền dễ chơi.
Nó cắm mắt ở đây rồi.
Không, tao không nghĩ là nó sẽ cắm mắt ở đó đâu. Tao nghĩ là nó sẽ cắm mắt ở trên này.
Hãy cứu tôi.
Má con dốc tránh rồi lồn. đánh sao đây ta?
Farm này hơi nguy hiểm. Không nguy hiểm.
Đây mất nè. Tôi cần phải có cái gì đó ở cái này ngon nè. Đây nó tơi lên nó vai bờ tơi lên nó.
Đéo có cái gì luôn đủ má.
Mày á.
Tao đéo có đồ luôn đủ mấy xuống boss farm thì đéo được, tại vì con rất nó farm mẹ nó rồi. Giờ ông còn đòi farm đây luôn rồi, cậu má đéo hiểu luôn. Khó đánh vãi lồn.
Đồ mới lên me hammer luôn. Má con vai bờ đi đứng rồi nó bố láo vậy.
Con spam ở đây mày ơi.
Kìa súng con ấy xuống rồi, nó có hay sao? Đông lắm luôn á.
Má giờ đéo chạy được. Đéo biết chạy đường nào. Invoker lên Midas nữa. Đéo có cách nào đánh đầu game luôn á.
Your bottom tower is kind of bad. You and a couple of friends could probably stay. Radiant structures are fortified. Your bottom tower is kind of bad. Up with something. Your bottom tower has fallen.
Má chơi chiêu thì đéo chơi chiêu thế nó ấy rồi còn ráng.
I'd actually like to see them use some of their pick tools, namely Syndra as well as Bard, instead of just trying to walk into 5v5s.
Makes a lot of sense. That said, Calicar still fishing for a flank here. And obviously one of the strengths Vitality has is a very easy front line in the Volibear and the set. They're going to feel a lot less strong now once Julius finishes that Black Cleaver, especially now that Neon has that Blade of the Runeskin. Coming down, but Frostguard, we kind of said at the start of the game, and I want to reiterate here, it's just any time we're in these high-stake matches where the stakes are very, very clear, not X tiebreaker scenario, 1 in a million, but lose and you die, essentially, teams always feel like they play so much more cautiously.
That's because your entire season, your entire year is on the line. If Shaco lose this, like, yeah, we'll get to play another game, but that's it. They're going to off-season.
Brutal. to the turnaround. Obviously, the fan favorite for the Schalke Miracle Run, but Quickshot pointed out earlier as well. It's also been a crazy series or a crazy year for Vitality. Finally feeling like their roster is coming together. Schemes showing up and making a big difference here. Have to see if Vitality can find the fight that they're looking for. Trouble bubble to start it off is big. Lebrov catching out Odoamne in the side. Comp trying to find an opportunity to auto attack, but hasn't found it quite yet. Schemes going in, Boulder going in.
Gillies got it.
Gillies finds it, and Neon now on the chase. Lebrov's made it out 4 now. Magical journey through the wall. Good damage coming up from the backside. A frozen mallet making it impossible to get away. The binding will not connect. And look at the damage coming from Abadage. Odoamne over the wall. The Ezreal ult over the backside. It's just too clean. Schalke are mowing down Vitality. Comp can do nothing in these exchanges. The blast forward for Neon. Absolutely no hesitation as the triple goes down for Gilius.
And Origin fans are losing it right now. I think for a minute there, they were getting a little bit nervous, maybe like wringing their hands, but they see that team fight and suddenly the Miracle Run feels so much more real. Origin are like, we potentially still have a leg in this race.
Oh, looking at the way Schalke's performing right now, that was
18 stacks on Abadage right now. So obviously the big issue is that Vitality were late to rotate into this, tried to stall out. Now Gilius makes the executive decision that he is just going to focus on the Drake, does manage to secure it there. So Skeens and Cabo.
Mày nghĩ giết được con Sylvan luôn.
Không, nghĩ sao nhỉ?
And then with the tanks busy with the Dragon, there's nothing to really protect Vitality's backline. It's also kind of difficult anyway against a poke composition, but Abadage and Neon are just lighting up the backline, and by the time the fight actually starts, you have basically all of the carries from Vitality on like 25 to 30% HP. So it's an easy call for Schalke to be like, okay, chase them down, kill them. And now, what was, I think, 8 stacks heading into this fight is now 18 stacks.
And just such a good look for Schalke, and we're also just seeing how confident they are playing. Because I look at this draft, and this is not nearly as easy to execute as the ones that they've had in the past. The Shen pick coming out for Odoamne has looked so good. This fight, we're taking turns on our carries. Abadage got 6
Nó đéo làm gì cả, tụi này không san nữa ta.
Yeah, and I want to really credit Neon. He did a good job delaying Vitality. One of the reasons why Vitality were so late to pivot into that pit is because Neon basically planted
Bình
his
thường
feet
tao
on
mạnh
them
thì
and
tao
with the
dám
ice
đi một
goblin,
mình được, giờ tao cũng đéo
slowly
mạnh
kited
đâu.
them into the area, like stood right in front of the tank line and was just dishing out massive damage.
And you can see why Schalke would be willing to first pick this champion because it's just so flexible. If you need to be more of a hyper carry, you go Trinity Force. If you don't, if you've got so many damage threats on your team, you go Iceborne, and you are so incredibly obnoxious to deal with, on top of being perfect to clean up all of these extended exchanges.
Deep TP flank. It's Cabo.
Cái sen gen ra xa để lâu tách ra được không mày?
Very difficult to pull off. Neon going to go over the wall there, clever.
Thôi tốt nhất là đéo ghét.
Frozen, but Cabochard going to pull him back. Shen now coming in. They're debating though. They don't want to take this fight. Abadage now stepping forward. Vitality caught in enemy territories. Odoamne is going to leap in. He's going to find the taunt. Comp now going to be in trouble. Gilius on the backside. Eyes on that. Yuumi now going in. Comp is going to get taken out just like that. Vitality are getting picked apart. They cannot find the 5v5 they're looking for. They're getting no opportunities to hit priority target. Gilius goes invisible at the perfect time. It's a triple for Abba. That was so clean.
And like you said, just literally ripped apart from the outside. They got attacked from every single angle and every single person. Damages now. They're just gonna chase down Lebrov. Let him go.
Mikhail's coming out. Makes it easy for
Rune
the
thì đéo
follow-up.
reject
Isolated as
cậu
well.
má
Dream is
dành
even
tiếp.
hopping off the body just to make sure he can get in on the action. And now Skeen's gonna be the one in trouble.
Đó viên đỉ.
Good night, Mr. Bear. That's gonna be an ace for Schalke, and wow.
This game has very quickly gotten out of control.
Yeah, I would say the Death Cap 25 Magi stack Zoe is a very clear indicator that the game is no longer in, well, Vitality's control at least. This is feeling pretty done and dusted. Now, we've seen a lot of miracles in the last few days, a lot of crazy steals, a lot of crazy stuff. But that said, I don't think
Chưa biết Cam ở đâu luôn bạn ơi.
Again, huge credit to Neon to stall this one
Cái
out
này
long
ghi
enough for
gì?
his team to respond. Because look at where they are on the
Mà
map.
nó
They're
đéo
so
ghi là
far
có tách ra
away.
được hay không.
Over the wall, stalls out
Đâu cũng
Cabochard.
được,
The Bard ultimate comes down. Neon's like, I just need to plant my feet. I
Ôi,
need to
khóa.
decide what's going to happen right there. Cabo does eventually get a hold of him. The cleanse comes out. The Shin ultimate comes out. And now the rest of Schalke have begun to collapse. And it's just shooting fish in a barrel in this tiny little choke point. Look at that damage from Alba right there.
Well, you got Gilius on the backside as well. And he even comes into this fight pretty late, all things considered. So I don't think Comp actually takes any damage outside of the W. Actually does. Just gets absolutely blasted. There's
Ít
just
là
too
thằng
much
kia
damage
có BKB
at this
à.
point.
Không biết là có trụ được nhiều không, nhưng mà Rocker cái độ má có con gì ở đây đéo biết, nhưng mà độ má mày biết cái con Rip mà độ má đào ra được không? Thì nó xuất hiện ở đây được phước.
You think when you see a composition like this, like usually what you need is you need party engage. And I think that's kind of one of the things that Vitality is missing on their comp. Like there were other things that happened, you know, obviously people getting picked off at inopportune times that kind of desynced their power points to where they wanted to have fights or successful fights, if you will. But you know, when your only engage is like Bard ultimate, Scab of the Week, and Sex ult, I think this is what happens when a poke composition just gets you under towers and then just takes pot shots at you.
Yeah, and obviously LeBron is fishing, trying to find something back, but the thing about the Shaka composition is that it's just insanely good into Bard. Every single champion has a way to get away from the Bard ultimate. These are not the immobile carries like the Aphelios or the Ashe or the Varuses of patches past. This is a very mobile set of champions that just aren't really going to get reliably caught out or be caught grouping up for this Bard ultimate.
And Otawamne is unmovable. He is so tanky.
289 to the 220 of Cabo. Now, admittedly, maybe Cabo's giving up some of that
He's level
PS over
18
to
to
Gone.
level
Đi
15.
hành súng, đúng rồi, hành súng đi bạn ơi.
Walking away. For now, they're holding on. They're trying to get something done, but a clean taunt coming in from Cabo on the follow-up now from the Cat. Gilly's going to leap back over the wall. Not all of their
Cái lồng mẹ mày.
does not matter because Otawamne, as previously mentioned, is unkillable, especially when you pack a Cat on top of him. Second taunt going to come in, and I think Schalke are over it. I think Schalke want this game to end. They can take this inhibitor. If they want to keep pushing forward, they absolutely can. Maybe they play it out slow and steady, but they've got all the tools they need to end.
They could also fall back and try to go for the Drake Soul if they're really not doing this one, because that is a lot of numbers for Vitality still alive, but they go for it!
Go, the classic Shen taunt flash to finish the deal. LeBron goes down. Dream's going to take that one. Neon now stepping forward. Can't even get one shot by Melitza. The flash out to safety. Heal now coming in. That's it. Nexus exposed. Schalke, the miracle run alive. They'll have to step over the body of Vitality to make it happen, but they're more than happy to do so.
The thing is,
Trời độ má nó mạnh
they're
rồi.
going to lose now. Trevor said it on the desk. You know, at first, Shaka probably didn't believe it. We didn't believe it. But now they're this close. They're so close to actually doing it.
Nó mạnh quá.
It is, yeah, it's incredible.
It would be...
People are always like, obviously the league's not scripted, it's just a meme, but then you show them,
Đủ má cái say mày đâu.
guys,
Ngu chó rồi.
we're not that smart. We're just not that good of writers. Like, we can't come up with this stuff. It's
Không thể thắng được game
you
này.
wouldn't
Dịch
believe
là
it.
biết.
If I wrote this in an opening, you'd be like, this is the dumbest
Cách
story
nào
I've
đánh
ever
được.
heard. I would never believe this.
And then the worst team goes on a massive win. This is an anime
It's
right
not
now.
the Mighty Ducks. It's not Remember the Titans. It's LEC. I don't know what to tell you. Key player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Gilius, Abba, Dreams. The Miracle Run is not done yet. They have not qualified, but a massive victory to be certain for Schalke.
It means that Schalke's playoff hopes are still alive, as well as Origin's playoffs hope are still alive. So Origin fans also celebrating Schalke tonight.
We'll see. It's going to depend on what happens in our next game because it's do or die for Origin as they take on SK Gaming. Maybe they celebrate, maybe not. Find out after this.
They got something to play for.
Con gì đó. Lộ ba nó đéo xào một chiêu rồi luôn. GG đẹp tệ.
Về lên.
Tao không về được. Mày tưởng về mày dễ đó.
Ủa, mày có lên flash không? Sao mày hút máu được hay?
Tao có cái đồ rừng.
Charged up. Hello, everybody. Let the game begin.
Không giết được con này, không có cách nào tao đánh được trong combat đó. Mà đéo phải chỉ mình tao, không ai luôn.
Có ai sao đánh?
lắm vô địch con mẹ. Biết thì đến độ má đi carry mẹ luôn đi cũng chỉ xuống bot. Vẽ chuyện. Đó, đậu má con mấy riếm nó cũng tranh mà.
Tiếng nào
Không biết được. Nó mày đi work đi cậu mẹ. Nó thấy nó có work trên này luôn chứ không phải chỉ mình Senchi.
Hello H3 English, it's over been 3 months since I started your breaking course. Now I'm fluent in English, working as a manager in a foreign company and be able to travel around the world. Thank you so much.
Nhiều người nghĩ rằng học những chuyên ngành về kỹ thuật làm kỹ sư thì không cần sử dụng tiếng Anh giao tiếp nhiều, nhưng mà điều đó rất là sai. Càng là những chuyên ngành liên quan đến kỹ thuật điện tử thì nước mình càng cần phải nhiều những chuyên gia, nhà đầu tư và nhà cung cấp từ nước ngoài. Ở cái môi trường mình làm việc thì đa số xung quanh đều là người nước ngoài thôi. Cho nên nếu mà bạn không biết tiếng Anh
Tăng hay không tăng gì thì nó cũng fit vải lồn luôn, độ má lúc sau với ép lại được. Đánh độ má đặt ra là win với nó đâu có yếu đâu. Matchup của nhưng mà Sven với lại Slipper cũng mạnh lắm. Thôi chịu. Thua là thua con TD đánh hay. TD biết đánh. Tụi má nó farm đéo có rip để mà farm. Đéo làm được cái gì. Chơi được chết. Mày hỏi nó coi có chơi không thì đợi nó.
Welcome back to the LEC as we follow Schalke's big journey here for playoffs, and I have Abedagger with me to talk about the victory today. Thank you very much for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I mean, as always, there's been a bit more celebration from your side after this victory, unlike yesterday. So was there anything different for you winning today?
I think I just knew that it's going to be a very important win, and I was also really happy with my own performance today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was happy after both days, but today also it means a lot that we keep winning these games.
I know. I mean, a lose today meant that you were out. So, talking to Gilius and everyone at Schalke, everybody told me that you try not to be affected by the pressure. But I mean, coming in today, knowing that if you lost this one, that would have been complicated. How did you feel?
hỏi tôi rằng là
I don't really get affected that much by the pressure. I think I actually do better
ở cái thời thanh xuân của mình
than I do like low pressure games, and I think also my whole team does really well in these pressure games. Like Odo Hamna and Gilius really step up all these pressure.
Không giỏi trần núi hay lội đèo, hơi này thề kiểu đó ai dám hốt. Chỉ thề sẽ đúc sổ hộ nghèo để ngày nào em cũng băng sáng trên lan mắt 81. Trên đó hoa ta biết cơ chỉ đằng ngọn, dù tôi biết gai trên cánh hồng nhọn. Anh cũng là con ong hám mật đây, coi như tụi mình có duyên làm đồng bọn. Anh gật đầu là anh quên cầm sổ gạo, tôi tay xòe tay là lương anh bỏ vào. Hơn 20 xung xanh anh cũng đi tìm miết, nhưng mà ngoài em ra thì đâu còn nhỏ nào.
Mày mà đéo được bố thì giờ chứ ra rồi.
Em cứ nhân lời là dắt em về làm dâu của má anh liền cưới nhau luôn mà anh cưới Tuổi trẻ
we can see
là
that
được làm cái điều mà mình thích và được ở bên cạnh người mà mình thương là đủ rồi.
There's been this discussion at the caster desk about EU Zoe and how it's not a pick that usually works that well, but here you got an amazing game, you got player of the game as well. So tell me about the performance you had today and how was it to play Zoe in this situation?
I'm pretty confident in my Zoe play, and I think the fact that it overall in the EU it's not
Em khiến anh chết mê trông cứ như búp bê nè, tự nhiên lay đến
không phải
đỉnh
lên
kê
BKB rồi.
chạm vào tim vô tình tai tái tê. Đã có ai đi lân quanh trong con tim của em hay chưa hỡi em? Nhà anh thì là nhà thuê và tìm em ở luôn không vấn đề anh thề. Muốn yêu đương hợp pháp với nhau không em ơi? Anh theo em về nhà gặp mặt hai ba.
A clutch player and like a player who doesn't say yet, but today you were very successful. Thank you very much, Abedagger, for the interview, and congrats on winning this one again today.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. And for now, Schalke live to fight another day, and so will Origin. We'll
Game
see
này
them
bên mình
after
mới
the break
cười là
against
bên
SK
có
Game.
phu đúng không? Đậu má mong là nó đừng nhốt tao.
Nhốt thì mẹ Blink rồi.
Không có nhiều khi vừa Blink cái nó nhốt, sao nghĩ chạy ra. Nhiều khi nó muốn rủ má Blink để rủ má block sai cho tao hiểu không? Nhưng mà tao Blink cho nó, xong rồi đậu thế nó phá ai thằng. Tao không hiểu luôn.
Nếu mà vậy thì thôi thì chết chứ bây giờ thì mình
NB tới rồi, Blink qua nó đi. Đủ má Blink xong cái nó target cho người tao, xong đủ phá hai hàng trong vỏ luôn. Welcome, đủ má hãy tới và chiếm lấy tụi em đi. Chi xong ha. Mà nếu phải chi xong đâu đủ má nó sẽ thuộc cho cái tầm gan ban luôn đó.
má cả một đống con luôn. Ủa vậy con mắc nết farm hả ta?
Đúng
Em
rồi.
farm.
Còn Kamei đi mid hoặc là TD đi mid. Nhưng mà ra là tụi nó đánh cái gì cũng được mà, game này nè.
Mày sẽ lên, tao sẽ kéo nó ra nha.
Không.
Hay là giờ mày muốn sao? Hay là mày muốn mày zone nó
Cứ
ra?
vậy đi, cứ vậy đi. Zone nó ra sao được mà zone, đủ má khỏe vậy. Đủ má thôi bỏ đi Thạch, thôi bỏ đi, tao năn nỉ luôn á. Hay. Đủ má 10 điểm. Đó là cách duy nhất thôi đó Thành.
Đéo tốn mana luôn bạn.
Chứ không tao lên
đéo tốn mana.
Chứ không tao lên là đủ má.
Ăn một đống đi chiêu.
Ăn một đống thứ luôn đủ má.
Tao
10
cá
tỷ.
mày là 2 cái arcane ball vô trong đầu với một cái stun.
Là đó là ít nhất.
Rồi chuẩn bị con Skylet mày đâu.
Ủa má anh kia đi nắm cái cây, vậy là đéo có tuôn hả? Cái gì mẹ vậy mà. Má đau quá ta. Đừng Thanh, đừng kéo vội. Tao hắt não mày rồi. Đậu má đau. Địch mẹ kìa, nhìn nó kìa. Con chó này.
Mà đam
Đi
lại to
quá.
chứ.
Lên trong giống hốt liệt quá.
Má phóng con dao vô trong đầu con Skyret rồi. Nó đéo
Chị.
có giáp. Nó đéo có giáp.
Thôi chi đâu ba đủ má. Nếu có giáp thì liên quan gì đủ mẹ.
Đau
Ba đủ má đau lắm á. Sao mày đéo đánh. Lòng má nó đam to. Nhớ lấy. Con ơi hãy nhớ lấy mặt bố mày, địch mẹ mày.
Welcome back to the LEC studio and possibly Origin's last stand. Pretty bad X-Men movie, but potentially a banger of a game.
Ê mày phóng con
One
dao
of
vô
the
trong đầu
greatest
nó
teams
rồi.
in EU history,
Đúng má, nó
world's
đứng xa, mày làm gì
semifinalists,
vậy?
but
Phóng lắm
right
đó.
now
Nè, mày
they're
xem tao
battling
lên tao
against
phóng
their
mất bao nhiêu
demons from
máu.
the past and losing. In 2015, Origin entered the EULCS and immediately took names. The superstar roster of Soaz, Amazing, Heke, Niels, and Mythy completed a Challenger to World speedrun where they made European fans everywhere proud afterwards by making it to the semifinals. The future looked bright for Origin, but little did we know that may have been the best they would ever do. They did keep the momentum going in 2016 spring, and they made it all the way to the finals again, only to lose to G2 Esports. And to add insult to injury, G2 annexed the Origin bot lane, Sven and Mythy, leaving OG in disarray. What followed was a tragedy for the org, with that much promise and seemingly endless fan support. They had to improvise, and after a stint with Forgiven in the bot lane, they put Xpeke in the marksman role. It went about as well as one could expect. Origin made poor choice after poor choice and clocked in at 9th in summer 2016 and fared even worse in 2017 spring, eventually losing their EULCS spot to Giants come summer. Now, after a year away to regroup, Origin joined the LEC in 2019 with a new roster. The lineup of Alphari, Cold, Yuka, Patrick, and Mythy reignited the hope in the brand for fans and haters alike. And Origin kept the momentum going all the way to the inaugural LEC final. There, again, that same team stood in the way. G2 ended up winning 3-0, but it looked like Origin had finally turned over a new leaf. But the loss to G2 seemed to echo through in their performances through summer. A heartbreaking 8th-place finish, missing playoffs and Worlds again. A near devastating blow for the players, one can imagine. Now 2020 again brought hope, with a fantastic roster, made up out of superstar top laner Alphari, lauded jungler Xerxes, mid-mainstay Nukeduck, stellar upset, and OPL champion Destiny. And the results were solid in spring, convincingly making it to playoffs to fall to, you guessed it, G2 Esports. But it was a good start for a reconfigured team, a good start. But the historic failures loomed over the team. Summer had to be where they finally performed, where Origin finally had a real shot at the title and a certain spot at Worlds. And now? Here we are. Definitive results. The honeymoon turned into a hangover, and Origin dipped into despair in a 5-game losing streak, and now has an astronomically low chance of making playoffs. But there is a chance. A 4.7% of scenarios chance, to be exact. It's not much, especially in light of their potential. But they owe it to themselves, their fans, and their legacy to make it count.
Thank you very much, Shocks. I ended on a somewhat uplifting note, but obviously a very difficult road for Origin. Chat, hold on to your Fs for now. They're not dead yet, but we'll see. I never really thought that we would be. I didn't think Origin were going to win the split, don't get me wrong, but I never thought we'd see a world where this Origin lineup did not make playoffs.
It was part of that bucket of the benefit of the doubt, if you will, and it feels like Shocks just delivered an obituary for Origin, even though technically they still have a chance, but it is finally do or die. The stakes for this match are incredibly high. If SK win, nothing really changes. SK lock playoffs, or excuse me, everything changes.
Everything changes.
If Origin win, nothing really changes. Everything can still fall and go sideways. So if you like Twisted Tourney to the last death,
Twisty Tourney, you want Origin. Anxiety-inducing nonsense. Yes, Origin are your favorites. Or if you're an Origin fan, of course. If an SK win, though, the secure spawn playoffs. OG are the first team officially, I believe, eliminated from crazy. That it's only happening with a day left in the split, or a day and a half, I suppose, at this point.
And I feel like the sentiment that really sums it up was Alphari's tweet that we showed on broadcast yesterday, which was, I'm tired of saying next year's that I make it to Worlds. And it's just like, that's so devastating, because if you look at Alphari's stats, still, he's statistically on top of everything. He has been a phenomenal top laner, statistically the best top laner, despite his team going on a massive losing streak right now. And yet they cannot win with the all-star top laner.
It's just, it's not even like the story of a paper-perfect roster, right? It's not like if G2 came together and then immediately blew up, you'd be like, okay, I can believe that they're 5 great players. Like we've seen people put 5 great players on a team together and it falls apart. Like that stuff happens all the time in Legends history. It's happened with a ton of different teams. five players who are very solid, many of them lauded for their communication and their teamwork skills, and to then see that group of people collapse so entirely is truly stunning.
And then on the other side, of course, it's SK. You know, they come back in, their first inaugural split, they then make it to playoffs, they kind of disappear. Losing Selfmade was a massive blow to them, but now it is all about Crown Shot, and that has kind of continued to be the story. But where you have guys like Nukeduck who are under so much scrutiny and so much criticism, guys like Melitza and Zazie are really starting to stand up. You know, Humanoid and Larson definitely at the very top, kind of the new blood of mid laners. But Zazie and Melitza are nothing to sneeze out. Zazie's Orianna performance has been incredibly strong. And this is the thing, it can't just be about Crown Shot if SK are going to cement their playoff run and then make a deep run preferably towards Worlds. Well, we got to sit down and talk to Crown Shot. He's like, I am a Worlds ready player. I know that I am. I just need to make sure that I'm on a Worlds ready team, and it's time for SK to finally prove that.
Huge opportunity for SK. You can lock in, you can be comfortable for the rest of the week, no more anxiety for your lineup, your staff, anyone else that believes in your team. Of course, OG win here, they hold on to hope for themselves and keep the league in disarray, as mentioned before. But for SK, you said it, I want to see more from Crown Shot this week. I want to see Zazie and him working together. These are two carries who have proven they have the potential, but we've yet to see a game where Zazie's popped off and Crown Shot's failed, and they've managed to find a win regardless.
And again, the blue side win streak continues. We just had Schalke win on blue side the previous game. SK Gaming this time around on blue side. The Caitlyn has already been banned away, as well as the Yuumi, so you lose some of that power of the potential Twitch Yuumi or Ezreal Yuumi. But Volibear might slip through. We know that Trick likes to play that one.
Absolutely does. And I really like the point that you pointed out, the Yuumi ban especially, because normally we'd see something like the Ezreal taken away. People aren't as worried about Yuumi, but obviously one of the few teams that has multiple Yuumi pairings is SK Gaming. One of those pairings would have been the Ezreal Yuumi, so OG has to be feeling pretty good seeing that Ezreal first pick. Shouldn't give up that lethal duo.
Now, other blind pickable champions that went through are going to be those mid laners, the Oriannas and the Azirs. But one of the biggest problems for Origin is that Nukeduck hasn't looked champions in meta. Yeah, he can play the Orianna, he can play the Azir, but his most confident pick has been that Corki. So even though the Oris and the Azirs are available, it just hasn't looked as powerful, whereas if Zazie just snap grabs a blind Azir kind of on this next rotation, you're like, yes, this is exactly what SK Gaming want, a very high range composition between Ezreal and Azir.
And here we have, again, essentially the same first rotation that we saw from OG yesterday. Now, yesterday it was a Jhin instead of a Senna, but the red side, immediate blind pick of the Ornn top lane. Of course, in the past, Ornn has been a flex pick, but we've yet to see it so far this season, so assuming that will go into the hands of Alfari.
I think it's just one of those cases where you're against Jinax and you kind of know what his champion pool is going to be because he's relatively new to the top lane. Like, yeah, Alfari will blind pick Ornn a lot of times because he's Alfari. He can play any champion that he wants. It doesn't really matter. He's also a phenomenal Ornn player. But you expect that Jinax is probably either going to play an Aatrox or a Scion. Maybe a Volibear top. You know, one of those champs.
One of the things that I will say, though, is that last game we saw that Bard really struggled to be impactful in the hands of Lebrov, and it wasn't Lebrov fault. A lot of it was to do with the enemy team's composition, but now we see Limit getting his hands on the Bard into a composition that will very much be vulnerable to that Tempered Fate. The Ornn obviously can't go unstoppable, but the Senna and the Tahm Kench, very easy targets to isolate and catch out with that ultimate ability, as now we see Tahm Kench and Azir locked in. SK Gaming going to get their hands on Azir for Zazie. You'll love to see it.
And we already talked about kind of the range advantage that SK Gaming's composition has put together. Now, obviously, as the game goes longer, it gets a little bit easier for Senna, but right now, with the three champions that Origin have, it really dissuades you from diving back into them. Senna and Tahm Kench work very effectively at kind of creating a little base for everyone to move around and then to slowly push through. I expect we'll probably see Nukeduck on something like his Corki. Maybe he decides to reach for something like the Zoe, but that's kind of been, never mind, there goes the Corki. That's kind of been the thing about Origin in this meta, is that Nukeduck hasn't looked comfortable or hasn't excelled to the same degree as other mid laners on the champions that are powerful right now. And SK Gaming are really pinching him right now.
Absolutely are. And where were you when Trix Kha'Zix got banned out? Incredible. Origin giving a lot of respect over to him, a champion that has been paired very well with Yuumi in the past, but just a lot of targeted comfort picks taken away from Trick, potentially trying to force him onto something that he's used in the past, like the set, but also something that Origin still could pick away here with the 4th of 5 picks.
Okay, so you would assume that they would grab the jungler here. You can still kind of hide your jungler, especially if it's going to be a special pick. Maybe something like Xerxes Karthus is still available there. They did ban out kind of two of the AD. Obviously, Corki is mixed damage. Mid laners.
Ooh.
So here's the thing. I knew this means that it's going to be Nuke Duck Zed.
For sure?
Well, the thing is that that's what it empowers. Like, Nuke Duck plays... We talk about his champion pool, but his effective champion pool, it's much smaller than that. And Nuke Duck is a specialty Zed player, and Karthus coming back into the pool makes an assassin like Zed actually capable. I don't know if he'll actually pick Zed. I've just been guessing.
I want Zed. Imagine do or die for OG with Nuke Duck Zed. I mean, win or lose, that is a poetic way to go out.
I mean, it would be a pretty miserable lane phase for a pretty extended time.
And speaking of lane phases that might not be as exciting, maybe even miserable, we've now got the Ornn versus Vladimir topside matchup. So a lot of scaling in the hands of SK, a chance for Gen X to get his hands back on a mage on the top side. And while I'm sure Alphari will do well, he's going to need to make some impact elsewhere on the map where he may find himself getting outscaled.
They need AD. Nuke Duck also did play mid lane Camille.
Mid lane Ornn? Question mark?
Oh no.
We wondered when we saw Ornn
picked
picked so early in the draft if it was a flex pick, because quite frankly it would make a lot more sense if it was.
No, Nuke Duck is the mid lane Camille player. And he takes a comment on Camille. Oh, no, he's going to do it.
We got to 20 seconds. For those of you that remember, 20 seconds to swip swap all kinds of...
Technically, they've played both. Nuke Duck has also played mid lane.
It's true. The Ocean has not been an Ocean this split, though. It's important to note. You brought it up earlier. Nuke Duck has looked very comfortable on very few champions, so we're going to have to see what level of performance he showcases today. Do or die for Origin. I want to remind you, this is the draft. These 5 champions are what OG have bet their split on.
And it, for me, is frankly all about Alphari. You know, he has a power pick like a Camille. He can absolutely dominate those side lanes. And when he's in tandem with a Karthus, you have so much power there. That is never going to be a fair 1v1. It was never fair to begin with because it's Alphari. But now you also have the Karthus ultimate to plan around. Now on the other side, it is a very scaling-oriented composition for SK Gaming. If this goes late, their comp gets out of control.
It is crazy. 2 very different styles of compositions. We've always got scaling on the top side, scaling in the mid lane for SK Gaming, Crown Shot on Comfort. Certainly they put together all the tools you expect for them to be happy. On the other side, it's hard to say what a good composition for OG looks like, but certainly Alphari will be happy having that Requiem to back him up in any kind of top lane play. We're going to have to see if Nuke Duck can be stable for this lineup. It is do or die for OG in this battle versus SK Gaming. Here we go.
Reminder of the stakes. If SK Gaming win, they lock playoffs and Origin are dead. They're donezo. Everything is over. If Origin win, there's still a chance for virtually everyone.
And I don't honestly know what I want more. Do I want more chaos and insanity? Probably yes, more chaos and sanity. So soft route for OG, but honestly, SK are not a team that are going to be easily overcome. They've consistently defied expectations, holding on to 3rd place for a long time up until this week turned it all around, and maybe now can still get a spot in the top 4. Obviously, big difference if your final seed puts you as top 4 will be difficult for SK given lackluster spring performance.
And what's interesting is I look at these compositions, and obviously there's great late game scaling for both of them. But SK's comp, I feel like really does thrive when it's grouped up together and you're using all of the ultimates and all the champions together. Like, yeah, obviously it can play into a side lane with like a Vladimir or an Azir, but against Origin's composition, which is so good at using Abyssal Voyage, at using a Senna ultimate cross map, at using the Karthus ultimate globally, at putting Camille into a side lane and just destroying you. Like, Origin's comp is like seek and destroy, like split you up, find you at a numbers disadvantage, and just ruin your whole day.
And I'm ready to see a pop-off performance from Xerxes, because this is a guy that at the start, or definitely coming into the split, I expected a lot more from it. Hasn't been the strongest performance from him overall. The Cosmic yesterday was a little bit overwhelming, but this is his thing. This Karthus is his pick. He is 5-0 on it all time. He played it 3 times in spring. He's 3-0 on it, and this is the first Karthus of summer. We're going to have to see if he can keep that win record going.
I think it's really important to remember that while Jankos kind of got a lot of the fame for the Karthus jungle that took over the LEC, Xerxes was, you know, whispered to be like the true Karthus player. It was just consistently banned against him because I assumed something was just popping off in scrims. But he is a Karthus special player, or specialty is his Karthus. So I am excited to watch him on it. Obviously, he is tapping his, what is it called?
Lay waste?
Not the lay waste.
The
E.
The E?
You tap it on and off.
The thing that I should definitely 100% know as a play-by-play caster, because for some reason we masochistically make ourselves learn.
Bây giờ đủ làm giết nó đâu thành đừng kéo.
Defile, it's called defile.
Defile. Okay, so the tip is if you guys are new to jungling with Karthus, you don't actually just keep it on. You tap it on to let it proc and then turn it off and turn it back on. Even if you have debuff, that's the more effective way to do it. You can already see that that's what Xerxes was doing. So he tapped it on and off for his break buff.
Quick ticks, and I believe with the changes to Karthus as well, it still gives you mana back on minion skills and monster kills if it is enabled, whereas historically it was only when it was disabled that you would get the kills. So a lot more healthy mana pool, hopefully for Xerxes in the jungle, even if Karthus jungle was hit a little bit with nerfs in the past. Keeping our eyes on the state of the lane. Xerxes at the moment, but Alphari doing his best to just bully Gen X as much as possible. Gen X can have a lot of sustain in this lane matchup for now, but when we start to look at one item, I think he's going to have to be very scared. Maybe even sooner than that. Xerxes finds a way in here. We're going to need to bait the pool, though, or this one is not going to be super easy to pull off.
Again, level 4 is kind of the big thing for Xerxes. He'll have wall of W that he talked about, but Gen X able to walk safely back into his lane. Nothing there. Outside of that, kind of touching very quickly on some of the jungle pathing that happened. Naturally, it was a delayed build that came out with Origin, kind of split the map. That empowers Alphari to be hyper aggressive with this Camille, and now that where his wave is set up, Gen X is in for a very rough time, but I guess it doesn't matter because it's on Vladimir. Like, Vladimir can have bad days and be okay.
Yeah, but without set on the top side of the map, he can't really TP back to the wave, so he's just going to have to live in the perpetual hell of a wave frozen on the side of the Camille. And of course, he will have a small item. Alphari is 100% in control here. He can do what he wants. He can try to stack it, he can try to keep it frozen. It's really just, this is Alphari town. There's not a lot of room for Gen X in this lane.
And it feels like that was kind of the idea with the composition. Like, yeah, you have great power from a Senna and a Karthus, especially late game, but looking at this composition holistically, I feel like this is like the Alphari comp. Like, this is really made for him to just, if he wants to destroy people in a 5v5, he can just land on someone, Karthus ultimate comes down, finishes the job, or if he does want to play kind of that split map style with a Senna ultimate as well as a Karthus ultimate, wherever he wants.
Yeah, of course, Alphari is the guy that we always talk about. We pretty much just have this graphic ready anytime Origin play, because Alphari is the man when it comes to top laners. I think undisputedly the best laning top laner in our league. This man is an absolute monster, average of plus 20 CSD at 15. Just stunning numbers, people. Incredibly stunning, especially given that his team is currently at the bottom of the table to have numbers that are that high. Very rare that we see a team that is not just going 16-0 or whatever, have a top laner with such consistently high laning advantages. And Alphari is proving it to us once again. He's already 15 CS above Gen X, and of course Gen X definitely one of the weaker top laners in the league, so no surprise to see Alphari find advantages here.
Gen X is catching a bit of a break though because the wave has finally focus fired and will slowly push back to him. So it was rough there, and Alphari was given kind of the full green light to just go to town on Gen X. We saw that the Infernal Drake has been picked up by SK, so the enemy jungler was across map. But Alphari should be able to crash this wave successfully. Maybe he hangs around, tries to deny a bit more CS from Gen X as that number is continuing to open up very large.
The important thing to note, though, is that the price of this Camille counterpick costs, and it is that the Ornn has to play into the Azir mid lane, as we see Jack Troll using the Summoner Spellbook to TP to the bottom side.
But this is the one window Trick has found. The wave crash came in, and Alphari now 2v1.
Gonna jump in, gonna go for the wall, gonna try to find the dive here. Has the Hextech Ultimatum, but Alphari gonna get taken out. Just a big punch to the face and first blood for SK.
Very well done from Trick right there, as a flash is also forced in the bot lane from Crown Shot. That was the one window that you had. Alphari, how greedy was he going to be? And the thing was, is he should have known the reset was gonna come in from Trick. They had just taken the break. It was timed perfectly with Alphari crashing 2 big waves, but he decided he really wanted to try to punish Gen X under the tower. That left him exposed for this. This is disaster.
And you can see at this point that he knows if he tries to leap out, he just gets pulled back to Trick. His only option at that point was to try to commit, and if he gets the kill, it's not too bad for him, honestly, because a lot of CS gets taken away from Gen X, but getting nothing there in the exchange, and the gold going to very quickly balance out. Actually, Observers, if you don't mind, can we just take a quick check-in? 15 CS versus the kill. He's actually got a gold advantage. Gen X in the lead after getting absolutely blasted, just in terms of early wave control.
I mean, naturally, still things are going to be rough, at least for the lane state for Vladimir. I'm talking kind of more holistically to the fact that, like, you know, obviously you want your Camille to start getting snowballed in the head, but he does have Sheen and Double Thorn still. So like Alfari and kind of the extended trades are still going to be okay, and at least until Vladimir has 5 points in Q, and then it's kind of like a nothing lane.
And if he goes for like just the full CDR build, it looks for now like he's going to either go for maybe just an early Seeker's Arm Guard, maybe goes just for a quick Zanya's if he wants to fully commit for some defensive itemization. But Vlad does feel like this is an inevitable ticking time, especially against so many mobile champions like Karthus, while Alfari will certainly and can continue to be very comfortable in the 1v1, it does not get easier for the rest of his team if Gen X is suddenly very fed.
And that's the scary thing for Origin right now. We've said it multiple times, you know, this is potentially the end of their off-season. They gambled a lot here with this type of composition, you know, finding the Senna, Tom Kench bot lane, getting Xerxes, one of his specialty picks of that Karthus, kind of putting the hard carry pants on Alfari by giving him something like a Camille, and then Nukeduck is literally just on tanking duty, and he's just, you know, down 10 CS, he's against an Azir, can't stop the Azir, just kind of chilling.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get that Abyssal Mask, as now Trick is once again on the top side of the map. Important to note that we have the Railgun up for Upset, as well as the Requiem for Karthus, so Alfari maybe, unlikely at this point, but maybe could try to turn around and find a 1-for-1 in this exchange, or even make it out alive. There's a lot of global and semi-global pressure coming in from the OG lineup.
They're not moving because they saw Nukeduck disappeared, but now that Nukeduck's back in mid lane, that's why they
Clean pull back into the sweet suplex. Alfari, goodbye.
Watching just the destruction of Origin.
Yes. Yes, possibly. And right now, massive shout out to Trick, finding 2 of those ganks back to back. Obviously, Alfari caught out. People can criticize him as much as they want. The hook shot there, you know, perfectly played around by Trick. If you mess up the timing there, you will, the pullback will not go through, and Camille will still get pulled to the wall. So, well executed.
That's now the Infernal Trick. It's going to be the Rift Herald. 2 successful ganks coming out of Trick. The fact that Gen X is now 2-0 on this Vladimir. Everything is going right for SK Gaming, and they have fantastic scaling. They didn't have to win the early game.
And the thing is, Frostguard, when we talk about these teams, oftentimes, at least on the side of SK, we find ourselves talking about the bottom lane, but this game is not about Crown Shot, as much as he has been the carry for this team across the entire split. Hell, it's not even about Upset, although it might have to be with top lane suffering so much. Out of nowhere, it's about Gen X. And Gen X's split is not one that you necessarily prepare graphics for. He has been hit or miss. He's played a ton of different champions. He's rarely found success, but this is a game with the help of his jungler where he has the potential to absolutely dominate.
Now, I will say something about SK's composition, depending on how late this game goes, is that it's very magic damage heavy. And Ornn, obviously, can be able to itemize so fantastically into this. He's like, I don't care who I live in. I'm perfect for everyone. Like, he's going to have an absolute field day. So that is something to watch for as this game gets later. And later. It's an Azir, it's a Vladimir, it's also an Ezreal, and a Bard. Like,
yeah, this is a game where I would advocate for a bit of healing reduction. I'll have to hold that thought. OG trying to use a global advantage here, trying to get something done. There's the Ornn on the backside. Nukeduck sidestepping there on the initial stun is going to be a big deal. Crown Shot taken out. Limit next on the menu as Nukeduck wants to turn it back. Down comes the Requiem. Nukeduck going to Jack Troll.
What?
Jack Troll?
What?
Observers, we're going to need to... I'm sorry. I have my glasses on. I sure...
What?
Down comes the Requiem. Observers, we're gonna need to. I'm sorry. I have my glasses on. I surely should have been. What happened? Hello?
He has unsealed spellbook. I'm assuming he swapped it out for an ignite. I don't know. I'd have to see the replay.
Okay, Jack Troll. We had 3 choices. We can give it to the Ornn, the Karthus, or the Tom Kench. Now, there's only one right option, and yet somehow we considered both other options much more highly.
Even when they win, he destroys it. Yes. I'm sorry, that was unfair.
Okay.
What happened here?
Okay, so we're going way back.
So he starts with exhaust. I'm just paying
Bam.
There's the exhaust.
Bam, bam. Walks him down. That's one tasty Ezreal. Nukeduck. Doesn't really sidestep so much as just does not get hit by the Cosmic Bind.
Ah, he goes to heal next.
Okay. Oh! No! Jack Troll! Oh! No! Jack Troll!
Put it away!
That's a hungry boy. You didn't need that. No one else had had dinner yet. Tom Kench.
That's when you go back for seconds and Xerxes shows up and dinner's gone. He's like, what?
It's that South Park episode where Cartman eats all the skin off the KFC. Jack Troll, my man. That's disrespectful. All right, whatever.
It wasn't even like a space.
And there was no point. He was dead 3 different ways. The third way was Jack Troll. Okay.
It's too important right now.
We've played a lot of bad solo queue games today, so bear with us. We're just like instantly triggered again. That said, they found kills. It's 2-2. Yes, SK have a 2 Drake advantage, but OG, while top lane seems to be going wrong, everything else on the map seems to be going okay for now. That's going to be double TP coming in. First, it's going to be the Azir, tick, followed up by the Vladimir coming through. Gen X on the backside looking to fish off Xerxes. Xerxes going to be in trouble. Very immobile, but the dunk down coming in from Trick. Jack Troll left himself in the pin. That's going to be tough. Duke trying to find the disengage.
Kéo tử thần vô bạn ơi. Bạn mua máy mới bạn đánh đéo miền Bắc gì luôn á bạn ơi.
In the meantime, Alfari on the top side, looking to secure some plates. Wave's going to crash in. All said. Only a single kill in favor of SK.
Đủ má đứng đó nó vô Ami chết cả đám.
Origin, like you just said, it was kills in the pocket of SK as well as the plate gold for Alfari as he continues to get ahead. But the fact that Gen X still has those kills, don't think it's
vô đi sao bạn nhát quá giờ đủ má. Đó địch mẹ đéo sai đâu được.
I wonder if the on the bright side he's got a Giant's belt now. Upset. Oh, limit. That's fine. Okay. Guardian shield is looking quite strong there as the heal comes in as well.
I was going to say, he was also standing on one of his little heals.
Little healy shrines. I thought he was going to die. I forgot. Sent all
You forgot that Senna's just like a...
Ăn tiền liền.
50 on a support. Yeah.
Từ bạn ơi.
Jack Troll maybe gets a fast dead man's plate here.
So he can just run around and start licking more kills away from the team.
Bạn làm gì vậy bạn?
Yo, to be fair, we saw that from Dreams. In one of the Schalke games where he was just flashing over every wall. It was great. I loved it, so wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Okay, Nuke Duck first to move. Good flash means that he's not pounded against the wall.
Rồi có đủ mang đỉ luôn.
Jack Troll here, who's thrown back by the Emperor's Divide. Swoop-de-dooped him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. This is absolutely karma.
That was
that's like every piece of CC used on the catfish.
And he goes into stopwatch. I like the fact that they tried to give the kill to Gen X. Gen X is like, delicious. And then Kranach's like, nope, sniped.
No one who wants the kills is getting the kills today. Everyone else is getting the kills.
I think it's okay from the side of SK. Like, their tank has 3 assists, their Vladimir is 2-0, and then Crown Shot got the other one. Like, that's perfect.
Yeah, 2-0, 20% CDR at this point in the game, maybe 25, depending on what runes he has. That's excellent for Vladimir, who, as you said, once he hits level 9, is short of an all-in, essentially unkillable.
He's unmovable from the lane. Now, that said, there's still not, danger alarms going off for Origin right now. Their comp also scales very well.
Má mày cứ đánh vậy, đéo có thắng được đâu rồi giết cái gì.
Really important that SK do kind of stay ahead
Ông ơi đâu. Đủ mẹ chứ mày nghĩ sao?
But, you know,
đủ má mày đánh vậy, đéo thắng được đâu chứ đó mà đòi.
Where Karthus isn't picking up kills.
Có đánh được không?
This is what I want to say. So we've been, I think,
game đi ngủ vô lành.
I think there's been a lot of criticism thrown his way, and I will say,
he's doing a great job on
I like watching him play Ornn. He looks so much more confident when he's got a big old health bar to back him up. He's just walking at everybody. He's like, if you don't back up, I will engage on you. You have no idea my team is here to back me up right now.
Còn game mày kéo clip đi tung đổ phá tao phải đi cứu.
He basically knows that Limit has ultimate, and Limit's just kind of like eyeing him up, like, if you throw it, I'll throw it.
Losing time, but I understand there's a lot of give him more pressure, but obviously the Ornn doesn't really clear waves quickly, but doesn't really generate a lot of that pressure on his own. It's upset Crown Shot duking out a bit on the bottom side.
And of course, it's been kind of a hot minute that we saw Ornn into the mid lane. If you have forgotten that hellhole of the meta, he's just unmovable. Having him in the mid lane also helps because Ornn's obviously a fantastic team fighter because he brings so much CC. So by having him as a mid laner, chances are you get him involved more often into fights over river, which we've already seen Nuke Duck do. He's taking Spell Book, so he can also have kill pressure with that Ignite running around.
Also can have Smite, which as we've learned is very strong when it comes to securing objectives over the last few days.
Because a lot of junglers can't Smite.
Yeah, we've learned that the jungler's a bit deficient in that area. So now we see Contestion coming over the third Drake. OG feel like this is their time to shine. The knockup already down on the Zazi. Perfect start for the split. Alfari on the backside can't go straight in for Zazi, but he went over the wall and it looks like accidentally clicked the Bard portal. He goes golden. Limit's still alive. In comes the Requiem, and that's going to be at least 1, maybe more. 2 going over to the Karthus. Massive shutdown. If they could secure the Drake as well, it's going to be big, but they're backing off. They don't want to give this one up. Azir. Can he steal it? 3 soldiers waiting in the pit. It's going to reset a little bit. OG want to pull the Drake out, but it is just not. Drake, get out of the pit. Steal? Whoa, crowd shot, no.
That was too close for comfort. Okay, Origin a little bit with the mechanics of the Drake had struggled to get it away from the Azir and the Ezreal. Eventually got it.
What? Okay, we gotta look at this, because I'm almost 100% certain that Alfari jumps over the wall to get into the pit and then accidentally right-clicks the Bard portal and gets sent right back out.
Oh, that would be a disaster. Okay, all eyes on Alfari.
Maybe not. Boop, boop, jump, right-click.
Oh,
And Limit gets stuck in the wall! And put on the other side of the Bard portal!
He literally got spaghetti.
Đánh gì bây giờ?
Oh, I'm so sorry, this is such a serious game. Oh, okay. I swear, producers, I'll be way more serious. They pressed them, they're down. Have to pay respects for the code there, boys. Not sure how that one works, Rito. Oh, pay. Oh. And put on the other side. And Limit gets stuck in the wall. Jump, right click.
Oh, okay, all eyes on Alfari.
Maybe not. Boop, boop, jump, right click.
Oh,
And Limit gets stuck in the wall. And put on the other side of the Bard portal.
he literally got spaghetti.
Là má do phải miêu cái con này.
Tao đéo nghe thấy gì hết.
Mày đéo nghe thấy hả? Mày có miêu đó không vậy?
Không, tao thấy nó ấy.
Vậy là mày bị gì rồi? Rồi kìa. Sao tao biết được? Ây da, đậu má mua nhiều cây quá. Sao tao biết được? Mày bị với tao có bị đâu.
Để thôi, để tao mail đó đi.
Con khỉ á.
Ừ.
When I said we could be alone in the universe.
Hồi xưa
dậy khuya quá vậy. Từ nhỏ rồi em mập từ nhỏ.
Vì sao bạn đến đây?
Bởi vì em đã đợi chờ một cái sân chơi như thế này rất là lâu rồi. Chính xác thì đây em thấy là nó là một sân chơi rất là thú vị. Và nó cũng là một cơ hội lớn đối với em.
Tôi cũng đã đợi bạn lâu rồi. Và tôi không muốn bạn đợi tôi nữa. Thì đi.
Dạ, em cảm ơn ạ.
Cái tay anh
And you ride baby, pui 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 pui. Anh còn phải học bài và công ty game chi. Không phải là dân chơi nên mấy em đi ra đi. Vẫn chăm sóc công ty nên không hề chăm mai thúy. Chỉ thích viết lách mấy bán tình ca và pha tìm melody. Yeah, mấy anh bạn beta này thường hay la lôi. Chơi vừa thôi không lo học hành kêu lạc lôi. Mấy công chỗ ở nhà nên tụi anh từ chối. Vẫn là chơi ngoan anh không hút. Bam không chơi đâu đâu. Anh say no no. Anh không dám đâu đâu. I gotta go go. Mấy thằng vẫn lại bao lâu lâu. Tiến vào lại slow mo. Còn cả đông việc phải mau mau. Thôi anh không chơi đâu. Bao lời mời gọi anh vẫn clean clean clean. Không tha hóa yêu thiên nhiên. Cây hoa lá không tha thu trên da vàng. Là con ngoan của bà. Pui pui pui. Đâu đâu đâu. Em còn phải học bài bài bài. Không dám đâu đâu đâu. Bạn còn phải học bài bài bài. Không dám đâu đâu đâu. Bọn còn phải học bài bài bài. Không dám đâu đâu. Ngày kia còn phải học bài. Đâu vẫn còn clean, vẫn còn on stage. Vẫn còn bận rộn, make money all day. Play with my crew, vẫn làm nhạc hăng say. Hater, get out of my way. Khá là lì với công đích còn nói dân chơi nhiều ha. Bad boy giờ đông ha, đối đi theo người ta. I'm a good boy nên đừng đưa anh bình ga. Anh đã nói bao nhiêu lần anh đã nói là anh còn sợ mẹ la wow. Không cần những thứ đó như em để anh vẫn ngầu mà wow. Thích làm việc trên store hằng tốn thời gian đi la cà wow. Khi em còn dậm chân ham chơi thì anh đã đi xa wow 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 wow. I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy. Anh vẫn cắt về flow. I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy. Nhưng anh đi đâu? Đi tới show luôn theo cái old stay. Khi mấy em fan girl đứng bên dưới lung lay. Vẫn máu trong rap game, chiến đấu lấy giấy khen. Đầu ra đây mà xem, baby I'm on my way. Let's get it.
Đâu em còn phải học bài.
Everybody say it, everybody say it.
Đâu mai còn phải học bài.
Đâu
một còn phải học bài.
Ê không dám, đâu kia còn phải học bài. Đâu không. Để bếp tung mây với số kilo. Em có mơ à, em có mơ à.
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players. Pursuing lives of adventure, warfare, and prosperity, they share this existence in the biggest single shard, free-to-play MMO of all time. Set 21,000 years in the future, EVE takes place in a distant cluster of over 7,000 star systems known as New Eden. It is a rich and diverse universe, featuring densely populated havens of relative safety, governed by 4 great empires. Hostile systems, where player alliances make the rules. Even regions of anomalous and unexplored space that hold their own secrets. You play as a capsuleer, a revered breed of highly trained pilot, having achieved immortality through the use of cloning technology. You navigate the universe encased in an armored capsule deep within your ship, where you have complete neural control and function as one. There are hundreds of ships to fly in EVE. Everything from small, nimble craft and versatile mid-range vessels to formidable warships and colossal freighters. Each has advantages and suited roles, but all are completely customizable as you decide how to equip and arm them. What you do in New Eden is entirely up to you. EVE's immense sandbox gives you the opportunity to choose between multiple professions and activities. The key to this unique customization of your playstyle is skill training. This is a passive process, and it continues whether you are in or out of game. As a new player, you can focus on one specific area in order to quickly reach the same level of specialization.
Nếu nghe gì hết. rè không.
Vậy là tại mày rồi.
Chờ
Cái con
mới
kia
hết
mày cũng
nè.
ok.
Giờ tao mới hết nghe rè nè, nãy giờ nghe rè quá trời.
Nó ăn một cái rune cạn rồi đó. Rune đéo thì cũng được, tại sao lại là không có?
Radiant's courier has been killed. Too stupid to live, too beautiful to die. Tower needs some help. You and a couple of friends could probably stop that. They're trying to knock down your middle tower. And defend that sucker.
Má nó có arrow nữa chứ.
Đó cũng.
Ê mày có thể cắm lại cái tai nghe của mày được không? Má nó nghe rè vãi cứt ra.
Chết rồi.
The enemy's attacking your middle tower. tower is under attack. This is one of the things in the bad column. Yes. They're trying to knock down your middle tower. Your middle tower is under attack.
Con đĩ lọc đâu má tức quá.
Nó làm gì mày mà mày tức nó?
Kéo giết được nó đậu má, xong rồi nó kéo 10.000 thằng ra đây đéo làm được gì á.
Nó lên top rồi nè, mày muốn thì mày boost đi.
Why not?
Chưa. Nó không được nào ra đẹp cái này. Mà nó được đó thành nó thử rồi.
Đang luôn rồi.
If your mid tower could talk, it'd be pretty mad. Dire structures are fortified. Every coin helps.
Má từ từ đi.
Mid tower could talk, it'd be pretty mad at you. The troops are get out of there. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Oh, hell yes.
I'm way ahead. Feel the wind in your hair. On. Already moving.
To hell and back.
Of course.
Every middle tower has fallen.
Cold wind blows.
Battle rages.
Sao mày không đi giết những con đơn giản như con Necro
À,
nhỉ?
một mít. Mít nổ rồi đó.
Oh, there better be something important going on.
Nổ rồi xong rồi thôi đi về.
The top tower needs some help.
Tao tưởng nó bút xong mít rồi thì nó thôi.
Dominate. Double kill.
On second wind.
Ủa má tao lên xuống đây farm đấy cha. Đủ mẹ mày, đủ nó đi lấy sai đi. Cút đi.
Mẹ invade rồi, moonlight rồi, moonlight rồi.
Your top tower is under attack. Hello, top tower.
Tao phải cần có cái này. Lên top giết con ấy nè. Nó chặt đầu tao rồi.
Chắc lầu này chắc có ra đi ăn mẹ.
Má biên giật. Biên giật, biên giật, biên giật. Biên giật cao quá.
Đi ăn luôn.
Quá tao bị cắm đầu hay luôn. Coi mẹ.
Enemy's bottom tower's gone. Nice, right?
Má sao bỏ hết vậy, đéo hiểu.
Tower needs some help.
Các bạn ơi, rồi mấy bạn đánh một cức. Chó đâu, đủ má con bức na đâu.
Envy bottom rồi. Bức na top nè.
Từ từ, mày cẩn thận mày bốc hơi trước khi tao kịp tới á. Mày có blink không?
Không, chưa có. Có thể nó có mắt đó mà.
Xạo lồn, đủ má, giúp tiễn xuyên tâm luôn đủ. Má, đứng im mấy với tao tưởng đéo làm gì được hả mày.
Ê, đây lấy rune luôn mày.
Ôi, cái tao sợ vậy luôn.
Nè, con hổ. Có con gì kìa? Giết nó không? Tại sao mày lại giết con đó mà không giết con kia nhỉ? Trời đậu. Trời đậu, mấy bạn tôi.
Trời ơi, bém chết.
Ê.
Phải.
Bắt thằng này.
bottom tower has fallen. Who said that tower could fall? Your bottom tower is under attack.
Má nó đéo có ở đó mà nó thấy tao ta. Giết nổi này không? Tao có ulti.
Giết thì giết được. Không biết có ai ở con đó nữa không mà. Có đâu?
TKB mày đâu?
Từ từ nó cũng biến mất mà. Đó. Làm con này lại thôi.
Còn mày bị ăn cắp.
Quá nhiều con phải giết quá. Nào cũng phải giết. Nó nói giết thì giết được nhưng mà có người ở đây thôi. Gì vậy Thành? Mày đừng có chết nữa, mày mạnh phải lồn luôn á. Về đi, còn đứng đó làm cái gì? Đứng đợi chết hay gì ba?
Mày có muốn giết mà.
Không, đừng đánh gì nữa.
Tao có ulti.
Con lồn này về đánh coi. Mày muốn lúc nào mới đánh, game sao hả? Con nào thấy con này. Bị cấm rồi.
Má. Đầu game phải xanh phải chặt với lại con con Minh Kỳ mà giờ.
Tao không có thua mid con bất na nhưng mà tao giết nó không có được. Xong một hồi nó kêu một đống thằng tới. Trong khi độ má team mình không đi găng bao giờ. Cả hai thằng đều không chết thôi.
Cả hai thằng không chết thì thôi chứ có gì đâu.
Thì nhưng mà một hồi nó kêu tới thì chết. Đâu má lúc sau ba thằng ra mid luôn. Chưa kể lúc nào nó nếu mà qua level 6 thì lúc nào cũng có thêm con ấy nữa. Chết lâu quá.
Bánh này bánh gì á Mập?
Có ai không?
Rồi. Không thì ngủ rồi.
Already moving. Every coin helps.
Anh không biết. Anh không biết ăn cái này làm sao hết.
Trying to knock down your middle tower.
Còn con đĩ Sven ở dưới độ má xanh vậy mà đéo đi vua đéo cố vún trụ đi địt mẹ. Cứ để vô trụ cho con Spectre nó farm. Đánh phải lìm.
Not yet. I run like the wind. I just own. Every coin helps. Money.
Đây hai ông kia ở dưới rồi.
Nó muốn anh trên kia đánh rồi vãi lồn.
Mighty fly. On my way.
Yeah.
No shot has fallen to the ring.
Already moving. On it. I'm not ready. I'm way ahead.
Con mắt ở đây.
Like the wind.
May quá.
Let the arrow fly.
May quá con Spec nó ulti nó cứu tao.
Sao vậy?
Bóng của con Spec đánh tao, Rip nó chạy qua, tao không bị độ má dính tun.
Ngon.
The arrow flies.
Lên top đép nè.
Taste my arrow.
Con khỉ với con Sven đéo ra đéo đép nổi. Độ má con khỉ nó phải vẽ vòng trước.
Má nó thấy tao luôn. Mày còn ở đó không?
Không.
Chạy ơi, cố nè.
Thua rồi. Con kia nó không chịu về vậy vòng thôi rồi nó không muốn đánh.
Top barracks are under attack. The top barracks is fallen.
Already moving.
Your mid tower can talk. It'd be pretty mad.
Got my wind up. I run like the wind.
Dire structures are fortified.
On it.
Where's the fight? Radiant structures are fortified. Your middle tower has fallen.
Em play.
Còn Necro nó thấm tao nhiều quá, bây giờ nó
là sao?
nó lên 130 giây luôn rồi.
Được tổ chức tại 2 thành phố.
Mà tao không buyback đó nha, bây giờ tao mới buyback á, hiểu không?
Ra giết.
Cái lò má chết mình luôn.